They're broken down and defeated, deterred, busy and confused, sleeping. You're dying while I wait you to get started on the journey chosen, wasted, now selected. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. Sober, sad and jaded. They're not coming, they're broken down and defeated. You are dying while I wait to get started. You are dying while I wait to get started. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky, yeah. Crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile.
I'm a motherfucking unicorn, a one-of-one. The vibe being the love and light, the enlightened one. My karma is interstellar, I live by truth. Fighting evil, my scars are living proof. Protecting you from the storms with all my might. Love me, I will treat you right. You ever cross me, it's the last thing you'll ever do. With my crown of thorns, I'll wreck you. I ain't playing, yo, Bryan hard, call me a saint. Too bad Chris, because Bigfoot knows my name. I'm a messenger of God, with loyalty I serve, taking out all evil with his holy word. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand, slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand, slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
What's going on? Welcome to Third Eye Live. I'm just checking out all the new things that they put in on StreamYard. Whoever the new company was, it's just a bunch of assholes for charging what they charge, but it's great to see people in the chat. You were asked a question by Energy Shifter, and I said, he's like, what's new, Mark? And I said, not Mark's attention span. But Kitty's there. Yeah, Kitty, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I think I do 8:30 to 9 on Awake Nation with Penny and David. And probably Joan. I'm trying to get Joan Renee on. She's awesome. And I'm also trying to get Tom Althouse on. Tom Althouse wrote the original Matrix. There's a whole lawsuit going on. It's great. And then I think I do Agent X11 with her and Bryan Singh. I'm going to see if Bryan wants to come on. What's up? I call him Culls, but it's Cools. Am I correct? Cools Paranormal Studio? In the bottom, CULZ, Mr. Mark.
I think it's Cools.
Look, and Mark is using his new. This is for the former artist known as Mark Eddy. Right there, it's Mark. He finally did it.
Yeah, so maybe some week it's just going to be the @ sign.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, you went gangster rap last time. I thought you were going to throw gang signs and. You know what they do in West Virginia, like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, I was going to wear my yellow knit tie
West Virginia.
show unity with Stan, but I think all the moths that got washed into the house started to eat a lot of the cotton products.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a big problem. We have moths down in Florida. I'm really surprised about it. Something that you may be seeing me chomping on stuff. I got into these gummy nerds when I was driving like 22 hours to Missouri. And I'm almost like an addict. I don't think they have Gummy Anonymous. But let Stan have his yellow tie, please. That's the Paranormal Yacker tie.
Okay, wait. Let me see if I still have it. Hang on a second. Bring Stan on. I'll be there in a second.
We're gonna be okay. We're gonna bring Stan on in a second. But oh my God, he's such. I don't know. I'm bringing Stan. Tonight's guest, as you see scrolling across the bottom, is the one and only Paranormal Yacker himself, the man, the myth, the legend, out of Ontario, Canada. Please welcome Stan Mallow to the broadcast. Hey, Stan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to be with you. Great to be with a fellow New Yorker.
Yes, I was born in the Bronx, raised in NYC.
Okay.
Yes.
Born in Brooklyn and eventually wind up in NYC too.
It's really funny. My dad's a Brooklyn guy. Was a Brooklyn guy. He's like, Brooklyn's the best. I'm like, Dad, you've lived in the Bronx most of your life. Stop.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever, when you were a kid, when you were in Brooklyn, you never went to the Bronx. Was it the same thing, Bronx? You would never go to Brooklyn or not so?
I will tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I've ever gone to Brooklyn without family, a fight has ensued, and not us initiating it, others. And there is this one love of my life who took my heart out of my chest and literally squashed it into Oriental Boulevard. And you know, pieces of my heart are over there in Brooklyn. Thank you, Stacy Kupperman. But what part of the borough were you in? Were you anywhere near Linden Boulevard?
That far. I made the round. I was born at Brooklyn Women's Hospital in Eastern Parkway. That was near Grand Army Plaza. Grew up in the East Flatbush section of Brooklyn, Lenox Road, Kings Highway. Eventually went to Prospect Park, Festa Park, in fact. Yep. Then Sheepshead Bay. And then, like so many people, you get to a certain age, it's New York, New York.
Yeah, but how did you go from Brooklyn to where you are right now in Canada? I don't, like, normally you should be traveling to where I moved down to, was just the state of Florida. Hey, JV. But you went north.
Yes, I did. And you asked a question. My pleasure to answer it for you. So many people in Canada, what they call snowbirds, where they like to go down to
Yes,
Florida.
they do.
Okay, I always liked Canada as a kid, always visited, and I said, when I retire, I'm going to go there. But all my friends, everybody goes to Florida. So I figured one summer I'll go down there. And if you don't have air conditioning, it's not as comfortable as you would like it to be. And I'm not a sun worshiper. And up here where I live, there's like 4 seasons like New York. So I like the different seasons.
I mean, I have family in Canada in the Mont-Tremblant area. My dad thought he was, I mean, he kind of looked like a combination of Pavarotti, Lou Albano, the wrestler, and every once in a while, like Sebastian Cabot, which is none of these people in chat are going to figure it out who Sebastian Cabot is. John Rhys Davies is close. But we used to go because he collected Inuit art. So we would go up there and go to the warehouses in around Toronto, and we would be picking up like prints and all these different things. Now, when he would come back over the border, he'd wear these wraparound glasses, and for some reason, he was really tan for a guy out of Brooklyn. And he'd wear these wild shirts with them open, look like a Middle Eastern sheik. And we would get pulled over at the border. Guaranteed. Don't mess around with the border. You get separated, and you're like, oh crap, But yeah, he was a Linden Boulevard guy, Flatbush, Linden Boulevard. He was, what was it, the Flatbush Boys, or there was some group that tried to hang him once. Linden Boulevard something. I don't know. There was some gangs during his day, but he's a lot older than you. So, but
we're talking about borders. I got a border story for you then. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Here you go. You see my little alien there?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. It's a real alien from real Roswell alien. In 1997, the 50th anniversary of Roswell, I went there for the 50th anniversary. I was also on a radio show over there in Niagara Falls. I says, well, why don't you represent us? So I'd call in every day, what's going on at the 50th anniversary. And the number one spot that people loved was at the museum was the replica of the Roswell UFO alien. As it turned out, to make a long story short, I have somebody telling you a duplicate of it there. So I bought it and I went by car. Now, bear in mind, what I'm telling you now is before 9/11. Now I'd be in Guantanamo Bay. That's for sure. So I'm coming over the border, and the border guard asked me, what do you got to declare? I just, well, I have an alien in my trunk. Whoa. They look it over, and he laughed, cooled over all the other ones, and they laughed. But like I say, now it would be a whole different story. I'd be on a list or something like that. So
yeah,
yes, that's my border story.
I would have just put him in the front seat and been going through the, HOV lanes. Going through. But that's great. So I'm thankful to the gangster Mark, or the artist formerly known as MARK, for Stan introducing Stan to me, and I'm really happy you're on the show. You are the host of Paranormal Yacker, but how did you get in? This is a crazy subject matter and field. So, how did you get into this? Because my dad, I was talking about stuff like this. My dad was like, pardon the French, you're effing crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? Hey, Bino.
He is from Brooklyn. Yes.
He is definitely from Brooklyn. So I'm just trying to figure it out. It's
maybe I'll tell you if you're ready for it. It's a little
go. Let's go.
Okay. To begin with, if I should have been anything, I should have been an astrologer. Of course, according to my cousins from Belgium, a great-great-grandfather was court astrologer to Franz Joseph, who's the head of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I like it, but it's not there. No, it started off knowing at a very early age that I was intuitive. Most people know at an early age about it. They're not sure what it is, etc. And I would do sort of readings for people and stuff like that. They would trust me because I would send them in the right direction. At one point in my life, earlier in my career, I lucked out, got to a job with one of the top entertainment public relations firms, and it was really A-listers. I mean, Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, Warren Beatty, Broadway shows like Company and Fiddler on the Roof, quite a few. So I really looked out there. And when people in show business sort of get to know, they heard, people ask me about readings, I would do it. I find myself getting invited to parties and all kinds of stuff. And you find people asking you, should I do this show, that show, sing that song? So it was great, but it was right now I look at it, it was like another lifetime. It was like somewhere else over there. And then when I got involved with the things, I got the offer in Canada to host a TV show there with paranormal things, and then got involved in organizing both sides of the border, and always being fascinated, probably like you are, with the unknown. The more I know, the more I want to know, and the more I know I don't know. I want to learn what I don't know, and maybe what I'll never know until some other time in the future. But I'm a curious guy, like you are. That's why I've noticed, I've watched you. You like exploring different type things and open yourself up to it. And I'm always open and receptive, and that's why I like to do it on my show. I give everybody a platform like you. I'm not from the gotcha one, because there are some folks there who talk to me at night and I gotcha. No, everybody's entitled to what they say, feel, whatever it is, and it's up to them, up to the audience to say, does it make sense? Doesn't it make sense? So I don't challenge people. I ask questions, and I let them say what they say, or anything personal. I don't get involved. Okay. I thought we just got lost. Okay, I thought the poltergeist came in.
No. We didn't get lost at all. It's just, it's an interesting, traveling path.
Yeah, it was, but I guess I ended up where I should be because I love it, and not only as the two of you love it, Bryan, but other people would say, blah. I love it. I want it, and I love investigating everything. I love everything. From going to quote unquote haunted sites.
Yeah.
You name it, and I love to be a part of it.
Well, I have you been doing this has it been an interest your entire life, or something? What was the thing that may have spurred you on to, like, I want to really look into this?
Good question. I'll be very candid with you.
Yeah.
It was passing over to the other side, having an experience there that no one I know that I ever had that reading books there, coming back. So I know there is indeed another side, and wanting to explore, like the song, what's it all about, Alfie? Well, I want to know what it's all about with that. And then I started getting involved in things like, I don't know if you're about aura photography.
Yeah, no,
Okay, that's picking up the bottom line is every living being is surrounded with electromagnetic energy field.
Yes.
That's your aura, the energy field around you. So I got involved with that, and I know, and I learned so many things from that. Like, I'll give you one little story since you asked a question with that. Okay, I was at this exhibition doing aura photography, and this woman comes over, and she's came to us a number of different times, and she was always like in a certain color. Her aura was a certain color, and then I take it, and she's pregnant. It's a totally different color. And I was curious to know, because what I'm telling you now, no one ever read about it. I never read about it anyway. What happens? You always hear about there's a special bond between a mother and the child.
Yep.
People quote unquote say that. Now I was curious to know. So she gave birth to the kid. After she gave birth, she was the color that she generally always was. And when the kid was old enough to put the hand on the sensor to capture the aura, I tell you what, it was the color that the mother was when she was pregnant with that kid. How do you explain that? I can't explain it, but it makes you think there's more to whatever is out there than we think is
Oh,
out there. There's that
100%.
special connection. And another one was with this a woman that comes over with her husband, a little girl, and they all wanted their oral photos done. Great. First one we take is the little girl, and standing behind her with his hands on the shoulders, not maybe or could be, is this man. You see him clearly, and you see him in the suit and everything like that. So I'm not going to tell a girl there's a ghost or a spirit around you. I said, sorry, your photo didn't come out. We got to retake it. So while she's doing that, I go over to the mother and said, would there be a reason why somebody from the other side would want to be near your child? She says, why? And I showed her a photo and she almost fainted. The thing is, the man with her was not the biological father. The biological father died of a massive heart attack when the little girl was a few months old, and that was the man in the photo. How do you explain that? You can't explain things like that happen, and that's where I question.
We can explain it.
Yeah,
I can explain it as that father's going to watch over his child,
exactly.
the true father, and will be the guardian angel of the child. But
really
other people wouldn't.
That's exactly what I did. I gave her the photo and it says, at one time in the future, should your child say, with my dad, he's always with you. And there were people say I was crazy, it would be worth a lot of money. But no. I believe in karma, so no, I wouldn't do that.
Trust me, I believe in karma, and I do the best I can to do the right thing until the Russian side of my family comes out, and then I don't forgive and I don't forget.
Okay, I'm part Russian too, so there we go.
So I've kept that. I keep that down in the reserves. But let me just go. Let's take a step back, if it's all right. Mark, stop being so chatty. I'm only playing, Mark.
I have questions when.
Yeah.
When we take a break.
Yeah. Did you say you had a near-death experience?
I had it. I went over. Yes, I did indeed. And that's why I wanted to question. I did indeed go over to the other side.
May I ask when or how old you were?
I was relatively young. No, I don't want to say my age because it would date.
No. That's fine.
No, quite a few years. But the thing was, it was regretfully my DNA there. The men in my family don't make it that sometimes past 30. Not too good there. So I did, and I'm very, very happy, very, very grateful for that. And it looked like, people I were with, they said, we want to say goodbyes, this and that there. But I knew I was taken away and putting back. So I did go over and come back. So it was more than near death. I was over there. I saw stuff which I still don't talk about. Of course, I just don't do it. But the thing is, so there is a other side. So I'm not afraid of anything that comes next. So in a way, I consider myself lucky.
So what's really interesting is for the longest time prior to moving down here, I had a problem with the number 45 or 54. And I knew I was worried about making it past those numbers. So, and it just so happened that a bunch of years back, almost 3, I had a Widowmaker. The New York Rangers lost a perfect game. They should have won, Stan.
Okay.
I'm a New York Ranger hockey fan. And I thought I had it on my bingo card, and we'll say it that way. But I thought 10 years from the point, but it was around the same number, and I just kept, so I don't know if I did pass and then came back, or it didn't feel, I just felt like I was concentrating on it. But it's interesting because we have people in our family on one side who had, like, my grandfather had like 10 heart attacks, and then he had a massive one and he died in the house. And it's really interesting. Their house was in Yonkers, And I've seen him full body apparition. My kid's mom have seen full body apparition. She freaked out like, oh my God. And she's like, what? There's somebody standing there. And I said, well, here, can you pick out, like, do you remember what he looked like? Yeah. And like, how is, and he would hold his hands. He loved his grandkids and children. I mean, and who doesn't? They make you feel good. They make you smile and they make you happy. So that's how he was, which pissed off his daughter, his only child, because her daddy's attention went to the grandkids more so than mom. As they, kids are great until they start cursing you out, right?
Yes.
But people still to this day see him in that house. The house is still, it's back on the market in Yonkers. It's been sold and then resold. And I would guarantee that if I went there and I asked, can I ask why you're reselling, and say, seriously, did you see something that you, and I bet you people said there's a spirit in this house and there's an old person. And yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's my grandfather. I have no problems with it. But it's interesting to know that you've outlived what, your family didn't.
My expiry date, absolutely, yes. And the power of positive thinking, of course, when I had my massive heart attack, it was pretty much to the day when my dad passed from his. So if I had a different psyche way of thinking, it would be very easy to say, well, maybe it's my time, it's my destiny, But I said to myself, no, it's not going to be that. But I find interesting when you talk about with numbers. We all have numbers. With me, it's the 11 and 8. I was born 1108 Lennox Road in East Flatbush section of Brooklyn. And when good and bad things happen in my life, as I look at it, and I think about it, as you said it, 11 and 8 keep coming up all the time.
So those are your numbers for the good or the bad?
Yes, correct.
I've always been pretty partial to anything that's a version of 3. I like the number 3. Long before all the, everybody got super religious and whatever, and there's certain connotations with that and whatever. Like the number 18, great number. It means to life in one religion. It's lucky. It's what it is. But if you add the 8 and the 9 to get the 1 together, you get a 9. And what's 9? 3 3s. I mean, I used to do this stuff to my father. I'd put like I tried to explain to him like what does this mean? And I'd say, oh, that's a 3. And he's like, how the hell do you get a 3? I'm like, well, if you add the numbers together until you get a single digit, you'll get anything from 1 to 9. And it just repeats. And eventually he said I was crazy, but this is something that's been done for many, many moons. I don't know where it came from on my end, but I use it. It's great for birthdays, Stan, because you'll never be older than 9.
I think that's great. But you have in the Hebrew, you have the chai, which is 18, which is good luck. Yes. And even Elvis Presley had a chai.
Yes. There's certain numbers, like, believe it or not, this is going to piss people off. So the number 666, well, you see that, and people automatically think the devil, but if you add all the digits together, it's 18, which is a 9.
And if you turn them upside down, they're 9s.
Yeah, they're all 9s. And if you really read into certain things, that's not really the number, but we're at a totally different topic, and we'll get off that. I just find it interesting. You're 11 and you said 8 or 9?
Yeah, 11 and 8. But you said 9. 9 was my mother's number. Bless her.
So every 11 years and every 8 years, you just like this is going to be my year.
No, it's just the numbers will come. It could be 11, 8 with the clock, with anything. It's not necessarily with years. It's just 11 and 8 comes up. I don't question it anymore.
And I mean, you did open up with, was it, who was the astrologer? What's the relative great grandfather?
They did it, from Franz Joseph. Yeah, that's what they told me. I don't know.
So I'm going to hit you up with some family stuff, because this all, I don't think any one of us is in this field, and all the people in the chat are paying attention to this, because it's fun. It's like we were made for this, in my opinion. We're made to do certain things. I am a light worker. I think Mark, believe it or not, is a light worker. In a different way. And I think
I'm a
you meet
gangsta light
yo,
worker.
Mark is a gangster light worker, but with a yellow tie. So I didn't get the memo. That's right, Bino. I didn't get the memo. I will never wear a tie again, unless I am forced to wear it. But so did anybody else in your family have gifts or abilities, especially if you're talking Eastern Bloc?
Yes.
And certain heritages, because anybody read coffee grinds or tea leaves?
No coffee grinds or tea leaves.
Yeah, well, my Armenian friends,
Mhm.
their mother, they're like family to me. So their mother can read it, but their grandmother was better. Her mother's better. They knew all these little things called bubba mices.
Bubba mices, yes.
Yeah.
My grandmother knew the bubba mices. That
Right,
is
like
absolutely
there's a
correct.
certain
Yeah,
bubba mice, which is like taboo.
she was very good with that. Yes.
Yeah,
This happened, you do this, you do that, you do that, you
right.
drink that, you rub this, you eat that.
Yeah. If you're
Yeah.
pregnant, you and you don't tell anyone, you can't tell anyone until the third trimester is over, because there's a bubba misa to the fact that you'll lose the baby. You also can't go anywhere near a cemetery. They don't like that either. So these are all these different terms, like, oh, that's a book that's like a bad, like witchy tale or wives tale. But did they have like abilities to premonition abilities or anything like that maybe you inherited something?
I don't know, because if they did, they didn't say anything about it. Of course, at one point, I think if you said this or that, or, I see an alien, I see a flying saucer, I do
Right.
that, they might have kept it. So you ask a very good question. I do not know the answer. I don't know. But the Bubba Meister thing, absolutely 100%. She was queen of Bubba Meisters in Brooklyn. Yes.
Right. It's you put in Bubba Meiser and it says origin, the word coined by Howard Stern. I'm trying to get a definition, and no, Howard Stern definitely did not coin that word.
Definitely not.
No, that's been in existence since the beginning. It's look it up. It's Bubba, Bubbameizer. I'm gonna say. I'd like to buy a vowel mark. Bing. Let's turn that over.
That sounds good. Hey,
yes.
May I ask my question?
You can ask whatever you want.
Okay.
You're part of the show.
Stan, when you were talking about doing the aura photographs, I've heard people talking about it. I don't have my own personal experience with them, but what I've heard is people can some people can notice the auras. The photographs would be more evidence. But do you find that women are have the ability to see the auras than guys? And what about the interpretations?
Very, very good question with that. My pleasure to answer to the best of my ability. I can only answer the way I feel about that. Okay. Women and men, I think, are just as intuitive, but women show it more. They're not afraid. It's right. A guy, it's sort of like not a guy thing. They wouldn't do that. But yes, women, they call about that sixth sense and being very intuitive. I would say yes to that because they go with their feelings, with their emotions. But most people in life, you, me, anybody there, if you looked at times in your life when something happens and you didn't go with your gut feeling, you said, maybe I'm wrong, and another day you go to regret it. And you say, kick yourself, I should have listened to myself. That's it. You got to learn to listen to yourself. But are women more open with it? Yes. And they use it more? Yes, because they trust it. Yes.
Yeah, I've just encountered it more in just conversations, and maybe most of those conversations were more about women looking at some kids, and they're like, ooh, gee, and that there's like a black cloud hanging over that. There's going to be a serial killer in just a few years. You get
Oh, I've seen
those.
that.
Yeah, you get those kind of interpretations. Or other ones have been, this child, the colors surrounding the child. It's a very special child. You know, he or she's just going to grow up and cure cancer, so, something like that. They have like a special gift that they'll do something with it to improve humanity. So some of the contexts I've heard that discussed ha- have been in those types of interpretations, and I just wonder, like, how
Okay.
accurate
Oh,
they've
okay, because
been.
I would tend to be it, yes, but let me do a follow up if we will, that by people feeling things. Which one time I was very much involved in psychic fears and paranormal events, and more people in uh, law enforcement that you think will use intuitive for. But let me go out to something else. We said about women here, people in certain professions, and they may not call it psychic or whatever it is, but you ask most people, say who've been in law enforcement for a long time, they'll see a group of people and they say, I don't know why, I got a feeling we should stop that car. We'll talk to that person. And the 99.9% of the time, they are absolutely right. Okay, they may not use the word psychic, but so a gut feeling, a rose by another name is still a rose. It's also sweet, whatever they say. So yes, so you talk about the women with their open, men do it too, but it's a gut feeling.
Yeah, I was just
Interesting.
reminded of something today. I posted I'm gonna get killed because I have 3 women in my world. And I posted this, and this is the aura of a man who's arguing with a woman at this point. It's basically that's your aura at this point, Mark, right there. Don't argue with them. So the auras are great. I try to look at auras of people, and sometimes you can see it, right? I mean, like, have you, besides the photography, did you see it with your naked eye on the aura? Getting back
Oh
to
yes, but it's always good to have confirmation. If you focus on something long enough, you will see it or you will feel it or you will sense it. And again, that's something I think we all have the ability to do if we choose, and that's how it should be. So people say, I'd rather not. Fine.
right. You need to practice that, Mark. So now you have that's what you should do. You should just do auras. It was a really big thing at one point where people were aura photography, and I think there was a technical term for it. Actually, I went
It's
to
curly in photography.
earlier. Yeah,
It's
that
called
was the
curly.
word.
Yeah.
It's an interesting topic.
Definitely. Did you have special cameras to capture the aura?
Oh, absolutely. It cost a small fortune. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And in fact, I spent a lot of money to get it updated and to do things with it. Yes, you do need it. and you need hand sensors, etc. But then what happened at one time, you saw people coming out of the closet, oh, look, click, 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 and it was not what it should be. But
Right. So, I mean, I know that I went to a psychic fair down in Florida, and someone was doing that, and they were charging a lot of money for you to stand in front of something and have them go into it was like a booth, and somehow they were getting your aura off of it or whatever.
I didn't
Um,
charge a fortune. I was pretty correct because I
no,
feel
no, no. I'm
afraid
just
that
saying that
you see to them they don't see in the in a photograph.
I think it's apparently making a comeback. So, I'm winking at your little side cash. Never hurt anybody. Mark, you can go out and do it at weddings. Like he's going to cheat on you. See, look at the aura. That would be great, actually.
It's probably done it before they tied the knot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have another question.
Go for it.
Okay.
Keep speaking.
Okay. Well,
You sit back.
Stan, have you ever been in maybe a hospital setting, or as maybe in much older adults, say a parent or a parent's, like, or your grandparents, um is there winding down, have you ever looked at their face, or after they spend some time gazing out the window, they turn to see if you're still in the room, and when you see their face, it actually looks like they're maybe 12. Do you ever see it looks like you're getting a glimpse of how they looked, 80 years ago. Did you ever see that?
I want to be clear about that. You see an older person and they see themselves when they were younger.
Well, when they turn to look at
Oh,
you, or you get just a view of their face, that say, maybe 90-year-old person actually looks 13 for just a brief, few seconds. Have you ever seen that?
personally, no, I have not. I find that interesting. But say if I'm in a hospital setting or a retirement home or something like that, where people are like that, there, I'm a strong believer in the power of positive thinking. I don't know if you ever heard of Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote
Hmm.
all the new age gurus now. It's like music. There's a theme, variation on the theme. Be positive, see positive. Whenever in that setting, what I try to do is send healing light to them, positive stuff. I don't look at the negative. I don't want to look at the negative. I put it out of my mind. So I have a different experience when in this setting that you describe. The only thing in my mind is healing, health, and no, good mind.
Yeah, and yeah, that was um about really one of my only paranormal experiences. There's a sky worm that maybe we can talk about if we get more sidetracked into strange, more
I'm
bizarre.
curious to know, Mark, about that experience in the hospital where you were.
Yeah.
When you saw that person, younger, was that somebody you knew personally, or was it another patient at the
Oh
hospital?
no, no, that was my dad, and I don't,
Oh,
it wasn't like I was projecting like negative vibe toward, I'm hoping it'd get better, but it was something that after going through all these medical treatments and the medications, dialysis, there was one time he just just sitting there, kind of next to him, and it looked like a just for that one moment, his face looked like uh, a like a junior high photo that we had at the house.
Wow.
It was something really unusual. I've never really had other people discuss that.
I never
Maybe it
saw
might
that.
appear in a movie or something, but it was something um, very. I don't know. It really wasn't unnerving. It was just
What
something
was your reaction
about.
to it? What was your reaction when you saw that?
Uh, it, I wasn't really scared. It was more like, what does that mean? Uh, or are we looking a little bit more at a topic like, you're, you know, you don't have too much more time left? I don't know. I
When
was
did
trying
this
to.
happen though? With your father, Mark, did this happen before he passed away
Yeah.
or within?
Oh, yeah. He was still in the hospital, and I was just.
So this happened around the same time he passed away.
Oh no, this was after wi- maybe 9 months after the surgery that didn't go too well.
Okay, I'm gonna throw something at you now, Mark. Throw it out of left field. What comes to my mind? Could it be somehow? Remember, we all use a bit of our mind, etc. Could you? Because you said it was similar to a photo you saw in the house when he was younger. Could it be remotely possible that in your subconscious you wanted him to be young again, and you projected that image on him? I don't know. I'm
I,
just asking.
that's something realistic to discuss. That's just just the one thing where you just kind of looking at the wall, then turn his head to see if I was still there, and it was just it was almost like that image um, from the Twilight Zone episode Purple Testament, where I wasn't Dick York could see there was like a quick flash of a light on someone's face, and he would know that that person's not going to return from the battle in the jungle on Iwo Jima. It
That's
was just,
actually interesting because that's
you know,
yeah.
and
Um,
I just really haven't had other people talk about it. And it's
well,
Stan's surrounded by this kind of paranormal stuff on like a daily basis. I just wanted to throw out the idea.
yeah, I just wanted to mention that sometimes when you have individuals that are going to pass, it's when you have an individual who's going to pass away, your time has come. Usually you are greeted with people that you or animals to transition you into the next life. Where that gets messed up is something that's an accident that shouldn't have happened or something near death or whatever it is. But sometimes some people do not have anybody to transition them, like mom, dad, grandma, great uncle, Bob, or whatever, or best friend or whatever. So what they do is they send your younger self that you would
Okay.
recognize to you to transition you, saying we're getting to that point. And you may have caught, and usually, from what I understand, this happens with a lot of people, like for months, if not weeks. It gets worse as they get closer to the death date. they're like, I saw, Uncle Fred today. And like Uncle Fred's been dead for 30 years. There's no way, when these people like, I smelled my mother's cooking. I smelled my dad's cigar. These are a little bit of signs saying stuff's going to happen, but they don't tell you because then you'd really freak out and you'll probably have a heart attack knowing you're going to die 3 months from now. It's like, it would defeat the purpose. So they give you some comfort in the process. And that's just my take on from my research and what I've seen, because that's a question. It's like, what about the individual whose genetic line has ended? You are the last of your genetic line. Who comes to get you? And because there's nobody to get you, and it will be you that gets you. It's a really weird thing, but it just helps you in the transition. Don't worry, younger Mark will, whatever it is, or a dog or a pet, like you have birds, Francis, and I want Francis on camera one night. Especially if any of your birds curse. I think that would be great. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just my take. I didn't mean to interject. Go ahead. Have the interview. Go. Next question, please.
I think I'm very satisfied with the variety of possibilities. I don't know what that was. It's just one of those things where, how do you explain that? What was it? What did I just see? So
well,
just interesting. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wouldn't you? This is my 2 cents, but the fact that Mark saw this, wouldn't you think that he has abilities that he's yet to tap into?
No question about it.
Seriously, he's gifted. You've interviewed. Stan has interviewed some big time names, but let's get rid of the para celebrity. You've interviewed a shaman, witches, psychics, and whatever. These abilities do come. Most people don't realize they have it. They have a moment, and when someone goes, they go to a circus and they take a $20, card reading and like, you're very psychic, and they're like, yeah, whatever. But do you think that because of that, he was maybe tapping into his ability?
Well, if he had that experience and he didn't voluntarily do it, maybe it's telling him, you got it, go for it. But everything is free will, because it wasn't something that he projected on his own. It came to him. It just came to him the way it was. So I think maybe his subconscious somewhere's another thing. You've got this ability, darn you. Why don't you just go forward with it? But like everything else in time, when it's its time to go forward with it. What do they say? To their own self be true. There's validity in that. And some people like to deny truth, or it wouldn't be correct for them to do it at this point. And that's right. There's no wrong in these things. It's what's right for you.
I think you should go out and put up a shingle, psychic readings.
It'd be a good idea.
It can't be any worse than some of the other people out there that are total BSing people. I don't know.
I would never do that. No. That's the whole thing. If you see something with somebody, how do you tell them, well, I don't think you should do this or that. That's going to happen because most people, they go sometimes to a show, to a reading. They want to hear what they want to hear. And if they don't tell them what they want to hear, they'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
So they hear it.
Until they get we had got John's last name. And when I was on a different show. That's how I met Mark on the Three Beards. And I asked him, John, a question, world-renowned psychic. I'm having a brain fart right now. And I was asking about something. He goes, you want to hear what you want to hear, or you want to hear the truth? So I'm in New York. I don't have time for bullshit. Pardon the expression. Stan.
Nope.
Tell me the truth. I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to be Peter Griffin. You know what grinds my gears? I don't need that crap. Just tell me the truth, because I'm getting all these downloads. I'm getting past life experiences that I didn't. I it's just coming to me. I know exactly who a person is, and I'm like, and they told me the truth. But you're right. There's too many people that they don't like you. Like I do readings for a couple people, and I know they go to other. I don't care who you go to. You didn't like what I had to say, so you went to this other person. Oh, I was just checking. I'm like, I don't care what you do. You're not just checking. You want to hear what you want to hear. And I tell people when I do readings for people that pay me, the people that I do readings for and I get that are the ones trying to kill themselves. No, I'm using whatever I can to not have them do that. And I get a lot of people like that. And if that's my role, that's my role. But I just tell it like it is. I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. I'm telling you what I get. I don't care if you like it or not. It's just what it is. You come across other people like that you've interviewed, Dan, on Paranormal Yacker that are still like this, that tell it like it is, or try to ease them into something.
Well, you also got to be very diplomatic as you go through with people and things and how you're working with it. But I know when I was doing readings, and I did for a while too, I always make sure to tell people before we start the reading, I'll tell you what I'm picking up. You have free will. You were not born, as some people do, with a compass and a map, and your whole life was in front of you when you were born, and this is the road you got to take. No, you have free will. Think what I said, but you've got to do that. So I would be wary sometimes, say, every reader tells somebody this and this is going to happen, and there's nothing you could do about it. Power suggesting, they're putting it in your mind. No, there's always something you can put about it, or to be forewarned. It's going to rain, you get an umbrella. There are different ways of dealing with things.
Yeah, it gets crazy. What other questions do we have? Paranormal gangsta. Bino has just stated
from New York.
that Mark is the gangsta psychic because the man won't give him the full attention he deserves.
Okay,
that is going on a shirt with Mark in the beanie. Mark had a beanie on last time, like he was, like rolling with the homies.
Yeah, the fog hat bandana I've had for 15 years. Can't see the.
Yeah. So there's a whole. I don't know, Stan, if you're kind of catching some of the side chat and that scrolls.
I like the rapport between the two of you because I've seen some of your other shows together. So I'm just.
Yeah, no, this is great. But there's so many cool things because right now I'm listening to everything and I'm taking part. This is my show, but I'm like Shelley Montgomery and we always have. She was mentioning that her eyes change color, and mine do too. It really, really upsets my youngest daughter. So I can just hold my eye, whatever, and one will be green and one will be blue or whatever. Also, it's like mood eyes. Depends on if you're tired or not, whatever it is. But the stuff that's going on in chat is really, it's relevant to what we're discussing on the different abilities and the auras and stuff. So it's always good. I have it scrolling right near there now. I like the show comments on the stage. But Mark, the gangster, you have some.
Yeah, we've covered, prehistoric America. Stan's familiar with Dennis Stone from America's Stonehenge. So every once in a while, we are covering, mounds or something like that. You had an interesting show with Fritz Zimmerman talking about some of the paranormal activity surrounding mounds. Have you read anything about Canada's prehistoric earthworks, or some of the petroglyphs that are in the area? Do we have the same thing on the other side of the Great Lakes?
You raise a very good question to which I don't know the answer. And after the show, I'm going to do some Googling and research and come up with books and things. I do that. No, I don't. I'm sure there has to be, but I don't know of them.
Okay. I think it's an interesting topic. As much as I've been around to a lot of the mountains and earthworks in my area, I appreciate them for what they are. I haven't had paranormal experiences associated with my visits, and it's kind of like invalidates me from doing asking some of these questions. But I'm just kind of wondering,
Oh, sure.
based on what.
Well, Bigfoot, Sasquatch sightings, there's many of them here in Canada,
Mhm.
whereas UFO sightings, many of them in Canada too. And of course, there's a lot of legends, but because, from, various peoples who've been here, for like thousands of years with that. But I'm sure that every city, every place on the planet has to have some sort of energy, because when you had people, things happening, people leave energy where it's there. Like I have in my house this rocking chair. My great-grandmother brought it from Austria, and it's lovely. But it's so rough. People tell me, well, why don't you have it refinished? Look, I don't want to do it because the energy of so many relatives going back in time, they put their hands on that, because I believe energy leaves there. So sometimes when you go to a place and investigate it for spirit activity, are you indeed picking up the spirit that's there, or the energy of the spirit that was there? Column A or column B? Sometimes I don't know, but we have to be open to all of that.
Stan, since you just mentioned Bigfoot, are you hearing more stories about Canadian sightings, or what about the Great Lakes? They're marine cryptids, or
Yes.
something about the shipwrecks in the Great Lakes. Are they producing ghosts that other tankers or sailboats are seeing?
And to that is yes. Wherever there's been a tragedy, that energy is left there. Like, I don't know if you've gone to the World Trade Center. When
I
now,
have not.
because I remember when it first happened, I went there right away. And people say, you feel this heaviness around you. You feel what happened there. You do. You don't have to be psychic or anything. It is there. That horrible happening over there. You feel all of that heaviness. And sometimes you could be in a place and you don't know why. You go into a room, it's nice furniture, everybody's nice. You have this heaviness in you. I want to get the heck out of here. I don't want to be here. Or this person is smiling and chatty. I don't want to talk to them. Listen to your gut feeling. It's probably a reason for it.
Yeah, I'm something really weird is happening right now.
Okay.
It's really weird because when I do interviews, you'll catch a lot of EVPs with me on the interview. Other electronic voice phenomenon,
Yeah.
orbs, little distractions, whatever. Right now, I am absolutely smelling toast. The image of my grandmother, who I love to death, which is more like a mom to me, popped in my head. And it is that it's really weird to say this, but certain smells remind me of certain individuals. And my grandmother, it was always toast with margarine. Oh my God, was that plastic we were eating? And that's a smell of her house. So that was pretty interesting. I just checked. I'm like, is anybody making toast? And they're like, nope.
No.
I'm like, well, I'm smelling toast. I got this same thing. You see, this is Wonderful World of the Paranormal. A couple months back, prior to the summer, desperately wanted, my dad who passed away really could use his help. I was in one of those binds and funks and whatever it is. And I growing up in an apartment, Stan, I don't know, you probably had houses in Brooklyn, or did you grow up in an apartment?
When I grew up, my family, they owned a 4-family house. So
Okay. So I didn't grow up. The only house we had was my grandmother's house, who grew up in a very, very large 1-bedroom apartment, 5 dogs, 5 people, a lot of boxes, whatever. So buying a house in Florida and having a porch, although they call it a lanai down here, so they can charge you double. Like, we have a lanai. It's a porch. It's a backyard, whatever. I get up, I go right outside. The closest thing I got to outside of my apartment would be hanging out on the fire escape, which they kind of frown upon. So yeah, it's but I had this, I needed my dad, and the neighbor to the left of me was not around, doesn't smoke. Neighbor to the right doesn't smoke, zero a lot. And I smelled his cigar, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But the psychic for our group, who's a sister to me, like a sister to me, never met her. She told me about my father when he passed away. So we were going, I think he was buried in, I don't know if it was Brooklyn or Queens. I forgot what cemetery, there's a whole, like Queens, New York is one giant cemetery with a couple of little places. But she told me, like, your father's here with me. He's telling me all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. She didn't know. She knew he died at that point. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and she's asked me, like, why did he come to me? And I'm like, because you're a highly attractive woman. The guy's not an idiot. He's from Brooklyn. He's not an idiot. But with Mark, I think you're, the more you hang out and do paranormal based stuff, like with I'm Stan, probably you pick up stuff, don't you? I mean, do you find your
I'm not a little bug. No, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
No, that was a bad joke. Sorry. But yes, when you talk about smokes and aromas, I think most people would accept that who do seances or just mediumship or anything like that. Usually a person, we would recognize them by their perfume, their cologne or something. Aroma is very, very prevalent, always a part of that mix to have like confirmation that person is there.
Right. Can we switch gears to like UFOs and cryptids and fun stuff? Oh my.
I'm
Is that right, Mark?
Any and all.
So you were a member of MUFON for a long, long time. Are you still a member?
I am still a member, yes.
Have you moved up besides membership into other areas of
Good. Ever so often, I think I should become an investigator. Yeah. But then if it's time of investigating, I would be speaking to people who do that. And if I did it, I wanted to give my all to that. So I have not taken that step. Funny you should ask that. Ever so often I think about it. Maybe I should do it. Then I exit. No.
Well, it was, I mean, I know people that have gone and they've progressed from just member, like student to regular member to
right, yeah, up to
or whatever. Do you think that MUFON has lost their way in some aspects of what they were originally doing when they first started to the current stuff, especially with the rumor, like there's been a lot of problems within the organization. I know people in MUFON. Yes, I'm a paid MUFON member. I paid the last couple of years because you do get things as a member that they don't publicly disseminate, which kind of pisses me off. But
Well, I think not just them, but I wouldn't say anything negative, but most organizations, every political party, everybody who has anything, there's always going to be a fringe element or somebody who's going to mess things up. I think it's almost a given, especially today with the internet and everybody giving, their 2 cents on this and their 2 cents on that. And you got to decide yourself what's right, what's wrong. All I know is wherever I go, whatever I do, I know I have my own values and what I do. Whether people who are members of that or a political party, whatever it is, that's up to them. I'm going to do what's right for me.
yeah, no, I think that's a great way to be. That's a super way to be because there's too much of the hive mind that doesn't really get you anything but junk. I don't like the hive mind aspect of things. It bothers me.
I agree.
And I've always been me. And some people may not like me. I don't come off, and I don't try to come off as an expert on something. What I want you to do, and is when I present somebody, or if I'm presenting or whatever, I want you to do the research. I don't trust anything any one of us is saying.
Okay.
Or any guest is saying. Go out and research it. Don't just sit there and say, because we have a lot of people in the chat that are very well versed in this subject matter. They do their research. They're not just sitting there and taking what like everybody says as the gospel and stuff. So I love the fact that you are, you have your own mindset, process, thoughts, and everything. And that's very important in this world. Like with the disclosure movement, what do you think of that? What do you think of what's going on with the disclosure movement?
Just to say disclosure sounds great. I love that they say that, but what's being disclosed? I want to see some real evidence. You could talk about, you can't give a review on a movie unless you maybe watch the movie. Because sometimes you see critics writing about that, they never even watched it. So I think full disclosure will be great, but we're talking about full disclosure, and disclosure has been thrown around like it's full disclosure, but it's not. I'm waiting for that day. I'm hoping. I hope I don't have to wait for another reincarnation, to see what's going to go on. But I want to see it. I think it would be great if it ever happened.
I said it before. People know in here. I think we had full disclosure globally, 1977, with the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Especially since the man of the hour and that Dr. Hynek was in the movie, and they did a close-up of him. There's your disclosure. Everything we've been doing, we're making agreements with ETs, whatever. But what have you been paying attention to 3i Atlas and the news coming about that? Because I want to know, have you been following any of that stuff about this mysterious comet that came out of Sagittarius A, not the constellation, the center of the universe, the big black hole?
Okay, I've heard of the comet and soon got with the area. Of course, things come out, people saying it's this, then it turns out to be something else. What it is, there's things going out there, yes, but when they land, when they talk, it'll all be good. I'm open to everything. Of course, ever so often, they were supposed to be over New Jersey, the flying saucers, then would turn out it's supposed to be something else. It's an advanced plane company that was coming out with something like that, and they go there. I don't know. I'm a believer. I want to believe. I firmly believe. I know there is something out there. I know and I know they've been here for who knows how long, and obviously people who know aren't telling us.
Yeah, I mean, there's there's a new app they have. I don't know if online where you can bet on the most unusual things in the world. And I may put $100 down that Mark Eddy gets abducted next year.
I don't know if you ever heard of Paul Hellyer.
Yeah, no, I know Paul Hellyer. Yep.
Okay,
I don't know him
I
personally,
knew
but
him, and I
yeah.
interviewed him on my show. He's the former defense minister in Canada, and was the
Canada.
first person in the group of G8 countries to say unequivocally that flying saucers are real as the airplanes you see in the sky. And he was privy to a lot of stuff, some of which he told me, most of which he didn't tell me confidentially. I wish he did about it. There's stuff there, and he has nothing to lose by that. Governments know that. They're just not telling it to us.
Well, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mark. Gangster Mark. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's see what.
You don't want to make Mark angry. Not one bit.
How is Canada dealing with the UFO phenomenon differently than America? Is about the same? What are people reporting? The similar crafts, same kind of abductions in Canada.
The answer is yes. If you took reports from people from Canada, the USA, they talk about the same thing: grays, abductions, seeing them, seeing the occupants, etc. I've seen no difference whatsoever in the reportings or the people I've spoken to.
Okay, you've had Kathleen Martin.
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
Yeah, and Michael Carter's been, I guess, with you, quite a few times too. They have a very compelling abduction and sighting stories, and you go into a lot of detail with both of them. They're both of them are very leading names. Your interviews are drawing out the importance of their experiences and how others may be able to relate to them. But it seems like we're dealing with similar. There's no boundaries in the UFO studies.
Correct, because I've spoken to people from the UK, from Brazil, from Hungary, Czechoslovakia, all over the place, and there is that commonality, similar type reports. I agree.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully Jen's taking notes on that. She'll do a show on a topic like that. She's a good researcher as well. Okay. Hey, another since we're just talking about Michael and Kathleen, always like your decorative studio. We've discussed the Roswell alien that could have caused some international issues, but fortunately it didn't get out of control. But you have a lot of books behind you. Do you do a lot of reading in prep for the shows that you do?
100% yes. Because I could ask somebody questions if I don't know about them. I like to know as much as I can. If I'm interviewing somebody who wrote a book, I want to read that book. If they got into other things, I want to know as much as I can about them. So yeah, I really don't know how you could do an interview on a subject that you know absolutely nothing about, or the person you're asking, because their situation in whatever the topic is might be different than somebody else's, whether it's reincarnation or past lives, different takes, different things happened, with them. So to answer your question in one word, yes, I do.
Okay. And one of your recent interviews I thought was interesting is with the murder vacations, murder tourism.
Yes, yeah, you saw that one, yeah.
Yeah, with Dawn Barclay. uh, okay, I've read a book on you know the tourism where you drive around, look at
Yeah, black
uh,
tourism, dark tourism, yeah.
yeah,
Very popular now.
yeah, and, and I thought she brought out a lot of interesting points about um, a family family vacation is got the cemeteries where some of these people are buried. The uh, maybe in some cases, the home uh, is a museum. Um, some restaurants might be inside of what used to be a prison. So you have, I think what in that example, I think you two had a really interesting discussion about history that we normally don't talk about. But who were some of the people uh, incarcerated in what's now a fancy restaurant? And was it the Sacco Vanzetti couple were in one restaurant?
People today, they want to go to all that. They want to go to hotels, and
Hmm.
most hotels, whatever the
Yep.
reason is one or two hotels that are quote unquote the most haunted. You have people there who want to go in that room. Now at the Halloween season, rather than going trick or treating, what's very much in now is going to mental institutions. Used to be just cemeteries. Now,
Oh, we could send
mental
a whole bunch of
institutions.
people to
Previous
mental.
there who want to go there and pick up the vibe. Why they do, I don't know, but it's not for me to say.
But there is a market for I grew up next to a cemetery, and how that was basically my playground. It's in the section that isn't developed yet. Playing football over there, or practicing golf. There weren't
Did you play
any.
with any ghost kids while you were there?
Yeah,
And I'm not
yeah,
kidding when I'm
yeah. No,
saying that.
that's yeah. Go out and jog before you know the football season starts, or something like that. But uh, kind of back to spending all this time growing up, hide and seek, uh, playing games like that, and never really had any um, paranormal experiences. I don't know how much it even carried over later into life, but it was. I think graveyards are interest, and you hear that from a lot of people. Is it's very peaceful, and they enjoy jogging or walking, especially after like Thanksgiving dinner. That's kind of run into them as we make laps around the graveyard. But I think most people really enjoy the tranquility of such a location. And I think that was one of the interesting points about your discussion with um, Dawn Barclay. I just like that uh, interview. I think a lot of people can just relate to the places that many of the places that she mentioned.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I found it quite fascinating too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Brian.
Okay, I was gonna talk and
I got sidetracked there for a little
no,
bit.
no. It. Well, you were talking about cemeteries and some crazy stuff, and playing baseball with half the team is dead. We're not dead. We just got to put a little energy into this. We're gonna win. I remember when my youngest first, I went to visit my grandmother, and her middle name is, she's named after her, and so we're out in New Jersey where she's buried, and she's hopping from stone to stone to stone. And it's not the big family stones. Like, there's one giant family stone plot. Then they had the little stones in the ground for each individual body. And I forgot what's going on, Max. Welcome. And her mom was like, "Oh, no, come here, honey. Don't do that." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. There's not an etiquette there. My grandparents would absolutely let their their grandkids and their great grandkids basically get away with murder. I mean, my grandma was pretty strict, loved her to death. She was tough. My dad used to call her the general. I'm gonna go see Sherman later. But my grandfather, like her hopping, he would have just laughed at that. I would laugh at that. I would I want you to hop around. I want you to don't treat death is just the beginning. Stan, you know this. I'm like, it gets better actually. I'm not saying do anything to don't do anything stupid. And I'm using things as Craig would have said, and I still have it, which I love, where he said
metaphorically. We're doing podcast as metaphorically.
Yes,
Metaphorically.
Craig almost dropped dead during that episode. It was great. We had someone, a guest, come on that I brought on, and he told people to kill themselves. And Craig went, he was
No.
And then I have the sound bites for that because I thought his eyes were going to shoot out, but it was great. And that, I didn't miss a beat. And hey, Jim, tell them where they can find you. But it was one of those episodes that would did you hear that episode? It's off the chart. But I think death is not the problem. And there's certain etiquette when you pass away. Believe it or not, you're not supposed to touch the head. People don't understand that. People kiss it. There's certain, and this is in multiple religions, folks. You don't touch this part of the body. And people don't care, and I understand you lost somebody important, but there is reasons why things have to be done within a certain time frame and a certain way. I always thought about when Mark growing up across the street from a cemetery. When did you ever go to the there's a really old cemetery in Brooklyn? Did you ever, when you were growing up or hanging out, you guys ever just do things like hang out and say, hey, let's go check out the cemetery? You were bored, or that wasn't on your bucket list?
Never, not at all. Yeah, I think it's in Green something or other. I think you're very historic cemetery. A lot of famous people are there, and it's all back in the park. I think it's in the Green Park section, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I know the cemetery you're talking about. It's one of the oldest and most beautiful. Yeah, but no, is it no interest in doing that? No.
Yeah,
Where
Mark.
was the cemetery where The Godfather was filmed, where they're at the Don's funeral, and
That could have been that. I'm gonna have
is
to look
that cemetery? I was just
it's the front entrance of that cemetery has these wrought iron gates and the stonework. I'm 99% positive it's
the same one.
Yeah, the same one. Let's go check it out.
It's on your to-do list.
Yeah. It comes up when you go looking for it. Calvary Cemetery in Queens, New York. But I thought that was the Brooklyn cemetery.
I did not know the answer to that thing. I'm learning.
Yeah, we got that pretty quick. Apparently there's a Godfather wiki. Like, we need more problems. Abe Vigoda used to live in my neighborhood. Well, actually, he had a girl in my neighborhood who he'd sit in the restaurant and, the local, diner. And there's Abe Vigoda.
Yeah, Bonnie Miller was a classic show.
That show was ahead of its time on multiple levels. There was an episode where some guy said he was a werewolf. And then in another episode, this is all the current stuff, talking about who controls the world and the power. We've got to do something. Very, very much ahead of their time.
And also entertaining, which was good.
Yeah, it is good. It's always, yeah. But what is that one guest? Or can you give me like the top 3 guests you wish you had the opportunity to have on your show or just interview?
That is such a good question.
The two of us don't count for the.
We don't count though.
Yeah.
So I got to think of 3, not 1. Okay, that is something with that. Okay,
and it doesn't, Stan. This doesn't have to be paranormal based. Because it's Third Eye Live. It's just what drove you in the direction. Was a premonition, a sighting, whatever it is. But I mean, like, one of my heroes, I'd love to talk to Paul McCartney. So there you go.
I really have to ponder that. I never gave that any thought of who would I probably. I would have loved to do a lot of historical figures. Maybe from ancient Greece, I don't know, ancient Rome, people who, we talk about them in history. I would be like some sort of historical figure, and get the truth, give them a chance to see what happened to them, and to Bruna. Maybe it didn't happen that way. Maybe things happened a different way with that. I'm always curious to know, over a year, the little telephone thing, one says something to somebody, at the end it's something else. So I would love to speak to a lot of historical figures from all cultures to see if what we think we know about them, we do. And I'm beginning to think with some of them, maybe not. Ezekiel, I'd like to interview him. Did he see a flying saucer or just that
would be interesting.
Was he smoking something? I mean, I don't know.
Tonight on Paranormal Yacker, God,
yeah,
the burning bush,
yeah,
that would be
that's a great question. Because somebody, when you said that to me, a million people came up to my mind, and I can't say one because I'm a history buff, and I love to go back in time and get to speak with the people.
I'm with you on that, and I just was thinking of that because I've asked, like, I connected online with somebody through Facebook. She's fantastic. She's just Brooke is absolutely a wonderful, sweet, just human being, Moreland. And I met her for the first time at a conference. It was Charlie's Expo over in Fort Myers, and we'd been like friends on Facebook, which is meaningless. I like to meet people. I just don't want to be like, oh, hi, I know them through Facebook. I want to talk to you. I want to meet you. So I finally met her. She's just wonderful. And hopefully she's coming on. And but these are questions I always ask her, like, what are your top 3 go-tos for an investigation, which is important when you're doing a paranormal investigation. But I'm with you on that history factor, Stan. I mean, like, I'd love to talk to Tesla.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm more so than Einstein. And I used to be a huge Einstein fan. And then I was like, Einstein was so wrong. It's beyond belief. People are going to hate me for that. But Tesla he's up here and Einstein's right there.
We are together. If you go to the Hotel New York or in New York City, that's where he spent his last years. Funny you should mention that as a personal takeaway. I used to do some paranormal events over there.
Oh, really?
And I always try to get in his room if you can. What would the energy be like there? And go with my camera and take photos. You know, in fact, there's a plaque. If you go to New York City, it's on 8th Avenue and 34th Street, Hotel New York. There's a plaque with him there. And you know, he stayed there very nicely. I know a lot of stories about him, how he spent his last years in poverty and this and that there. It was a beautiful suite at the hotel, and happily he had a lot of money and friends there who, you know, paid for him to be there. But funny you should say, yes, I'm a big fan of Tesla. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I every time, year after year, I try to reserve in advance. Now you can't get it.
Yeah, you can't. But it's funny you said that because my father's aunt, so it would be my grandfather's sister, her husband was JBD Mosquito, and he started American Safety Razor. He coined the phrase 5 o'clock shadow.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, really great guy. But the beginning of their relationship and their lives married, they used to live in, I think they lived in the New York Hotel, and then they also lived in the Plaza Hotel. And that was their home. But, and if you're living in a hotel way back in, and that was a while ago, you had buku bucks for what you did. But I'm sure that if she was around and I really wanted to go in there, I would have been like, hey, can you get me into Tesla's room? And she probably would have called up.
Every time.
Energy shifter here.
Okay.
Is the room sealed?
I think it's closed off. Yeah. I think it's still, I got to be honest, I think it's still a crime scene to this day. Because there's no, murder is the only thing that doesn't have a statute of limitations. And no one knows if Tesla died of natural causes or was murdered. And I mean, knowing what he was doing and was trying to do against some of really powerful people, that is a crime scene. So you would definitely close it off.
And it was definitely witnesses. Many people from the government came in, grabbed all his papers and all his notes, never to be seen again. And let's face it, how much money isn't there in free electricity? That's what he was working on towards the end, getting it out to the people. And I imagine there are some people out there who say, no, that's no good.
Well, I mean, a lot of what you're getting right now in the last 3 decades, 30 years, it's all based on Tesla's work. All of it. Wireless charging, wireless transmissions, wireless free energy. That's Tesla. That magnetic coil there. I mean, I know somebody who created a Tesla-esque power plant in a state just below where you are, Stan, and got a visit from a couple of individuals from the government, may have been, men in black-ish. They took the box. They said, don't you ever do that again. Otherwise, you're going to jail. They want you tied to the grid. They want to know where you are. This is what the problem is. And what people do. Oh, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to get my show banned. You need to vote against everything that has to do with digital ID. That's not what the United States was created for. Matter of fact, our founding fathers would have been like, what? No. That would have been in there, after the it would be the Second Amendment at that point, no tracking, digital ID. And then the third would have been, you have the right to bear arms. It would have been totally different.
Tesla, I don't know if people know it or not, but one of the major electric plants in Niagara Falls that supplies electricity all over it, that was designed by Tesla.
Isn't that great? So yeah, I mean, he'd be one of them. Here's the problem with the history. I mean, I said this recently. I said, I don't think you can trust the historical record on everything.
Agree.
Did you ever interview
except
Randall
for what's
Carlson?
in Hungry Old Critters?
Hungry Old Critters you can trust. Mark did a book called Hungry Old Critters, and it's 100%. You can actually check, the fossil records on that one.
It's very accurate. Prehistory studies.
Happy birthday, Beth. Sorry, I just read Beth turned a certain age yesterday, and I wanted to wish her a happy birthday.
Libra? You're an October birthday?
There you go.
Is it your birthday?
No, not my birthday. Adventures with Beth.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's one of our in the chat. So I wanted to wish her a happy birthday. I like, saying happy birthday.
Okay, Bryan, get back to your.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
Point about history. Okay, I'll shut up.
I just like the point. I like the fact. I like history. A block from my house, you can see it, is George Washington Fort #1. I'm in an organization that makes George Washington my brother, Ben Franklin, and a couple other people, brothers. There's something about it, and the fact is, like, one of the people, maybe you wanted to interview Ramsey or King Tut, Tutankhamun, and say, did you guys actually build that crap, or did you come upon it? Because it's looking like, well, I've known it's been there prior to the Egyptians for a while. It's only recently coming up. What do you think of that stuff when you see that the pyramids are not what they've been reported for decades to be? Stan.
Okay. Again, we don't know. That's the whole thing. We also know there are chambers that you're not allowed to go into. What's in those? I always explore the unknown. I want to know what was there, and rightfully so with what you said about what are we told? Are we being told things because that's what they want us to think? This is a weather balloon. It's not a flying saucer. This was built by this and this, not by that. Misinformation, getting you to think about something else. I think it's, fantastic. The bottom line is we don't know.
No.
And I know when years ago, I forgot what it was called, Out on the Limb or something, Shirley MacLaine had written a book about reincarnation and stuff like that.
Right.
And she wanted to go down, I think, into Peru and visit some sacred places there, because supposedly flying saucers, aliens went there, and the government said, no, our people did it, and they deserve the credit. And another entity didn't do it. We did it. So the thing is, a lot of these things we don't know. Pyramids fascinate me. In fact, I have a lot of ancient Egyptian artifacts in my house. You can't see it here, but I'm fascinated with that culture. But what's the real truth?
We don't know. And this is why Mark's book is so important. I'm throwing your book in, Mark, because it is. It's important because they never considered all of what West Virginia was responsible for in, the creation of the Ohio. Is it called the Ohio Valley?
I think you have a lot of the pioneers of the Pleistocene studies were up and down the river, right, just a few miles to my west.
I mean, it's as if West Virginia owed money to someone.
No, it's all that happened here, as well as some of the fossil studies of the Xanacanth sharks that lived in the lagoons that would eventually become the Ohio River, the salamanders, and some of the other the sea scorpions. All that, all that was, just to tie in with what you're saying, Brian, is all those people were studying here, and when the T-Rexes were discovered and out west, they kind of
everybody moved out west.
Moved out there. But the study of fossils and the Ice Age was just around my house.
Nice.
It was really cool, and I exposed that in the hungry old critters, and went into a lot more detail in the follow-up book, Lakes and Lizards.
So I mean, this is the problem I've been discovering. I mean, we had Daniel and Teresa
Duke
on, that are the great grandchildren, Jesse James. Everybody thinks Jesse James, died, was killed. Like when he, whatever. All lies. It's just, this is.
Well, I was just going to say the exact same thing because I interviewed them.
Oh, you did? They're great.
Yeah, I interviewed them too. And I was going to mention that, of course, it was a perfect tie-in to what was just said. But yeah, we agree. That goes again with what you said with history, what we're told, what really happened, and why did it happen. And a lot of these books and TV shows and movies, they take, artistic liberty, giving you a story that's not the story. Yeah, they were great guests. They were good. Yes, I learned a lot.
So I don't want to kill you with so many questions. We have about 10 minutes left.
Oh,
but
wow. Then it went by very fast.
I appreciate that. We do a good job, Mark. High five.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to join on you. Part of that.
So with your intuitive abilities, and this is in the description, by the way, you had a lot of celebrity people seeking advice from you. Were you able to intuitively help them, or did you see things that scared the hell out of you? Because I'm hearing horror stories from some of these celebrities.
No, happily, no. It was all positive. What was upsetting was one person I mentioned over there who was up for a role in 2 Broadway shows. And my gut feeling said, go with that one. And her best friend was saying, no, you got to go with that one. The one a friend told her to go with closed in about 3 weeks. The one that I told her to go with turned out to be one of the longest running shows in Broadway history. Needless to say, those girls are no longer, roommates, that's for sure. A long time like that there. But it's for sure, you did read, like you said, Brian, you did readings also. You can only give people advice, and you can't, hold my neck and say, do it. They got to do it and say, well, I should have listened, but what can you do?
No, this is what I say to people because it's 100% the truth. I've had people where, can you help me? Can you give me a reading? I'm like, whatever. And then they sit there and I'm like, yes. Well, give me a reading. I'm like, on what? You got to ask me something. So it's like, I'm not a mind reader.
Right. People think that,
Most men are not mind readers, ladies. Just get that in your head now.
Correct. Like you can't go to a dentist, and say, my tooth hurts me. Well, which one?
Which one?
You're the dentist. You tell me. I mean,
you have 80 something teeth, like you have 180 shot. So they tell me something, and I always say, first of all, I ask for permission to read them. I will not read you if you don't give me permission.
sure.
2, I say this can go. This could take me a minute. It could take me 55 minutes. It could take me longer. Just let you know. I'm just going to give you what I give you, but understand the future is fluid.
Correct.
And it will change if you do not follow your path. So basically what I'm doing is I'm reading off of their path. And I have the same person, just like, well, you said, Bob. I said, yeah, I said that. Yeah, I did. I also said, don't sit on your ass. And that's what you did. Well, I'm like, no, well, now that path is gone. And that person's still there. I can still see the person he was looking for. Now you have to do a different path. And you know what the problem is? Most people don't learn from their mistakes.
They keep repeating it. They say a lot of times that with reincarnation, say a lot of people are reincarnated because they make the same mistake. You got to break the mold and go in another direction.
Yeah. It's just, I was, I love when people, for the longest time, Stan, I just called myself a remote viewer.
Oh, wow.
Because I do it. I'm a member of IRVA, and I do remote viewing. And I didn't want to come off. Remember Miss Cleo?
I don't remember the name.
The 800. Don't call me now.
And the fact she was from, she wasn't even from the islands. She was
she was from Jamaica,
Miss
Queens.
Exactly.
That's about as close to Jamaica as she was from.
Miss Cleo,
yeah. Pardon me now. And yeah, I didn't want to come off like that, but I've learned to live with and do what I do. And the more you do it, it comes. You think your abilities were spiked or came to you because of your near-death experience, or were they already there and just enhanced by your near-death experience?
Oh, they were already there at an earlier age. Like I could, if I touched an object or something, I was able to pick up the history of it and things like that. Something that I was very much aware of, from a young age.
Yeah, I think that's called tachometry, if I'm correct.
And you are correct.
I don't get involved in, you had all these people, well, I have Claire audio and Claire, and Claire this, and I'm clairvoyant. I'm like, I don't care about your titles. I never cared about the titles.
Agree.
And at one point in my life, I would say, I fear two things in life, God and my wife, not necessarily that order.
That's funny.
I just fear God at this point. Because you've got to be happy and live your life with whatever you have and whoever you have. Mark is available, ladies. I say it out there. Show a little skin, Mark. And he's.
I don't want to have to unloosen my tongue. I just feel like at one with Stan. It's not. It's a close. It's close. But it's not as.
I didn't wear the tie, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I was just wondering. I just do what I do, and I that happened to me in New Jersey, actually. The seeing things that took place by touching something. It happens, but I spent a lot of my time. Are you an empath as well? You pick up on the emotional component?
Not to the extent that people with true empaths are. I feel for them totally, because I've interviewed it and I've figured out that they pick up everything. It has to be very difficult to live with that. They got to stay away from malls and group gatherings and places like that. It has to be very difficult to live like that.
It is so difficult to live with. I'm really, really big time empath. And it's after a while when you're hanging out with someone and it just drains you. It just sucks the life force out of you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do, and you're like, oh my God.
Just get out of there. So I have empathy. My heart goes out to you because I've spoken with a number of them and know how difficult it is for them to live their lives like that. They could be in a group with a lot of people in a party. They say they have to leave it. Why? Did we say something wrong? No. You can't say, well, I'm picking up negative energy from here or there. You'll never be invited again. No.
No, I've actually with people like really, really good friends. I'm like, you're batshit crazy, and I got to get out of here. And they understand it. Like, okay, what are you picking up? I'm like, you're driving me nuts this month. Stop. First, I want to thank you and for coming on the broadcast. We're almost out of time, and I have to walk dogs at this point, and I apologize. I could keep going for hours. I know Mark is a chatty Cathy.
Yeah. Let's just have Stan come back.
I'm going to have Stan come back. We're almost finished with our first season, folks. It's almost over. Season 1 of Third Eye Live.
It's an absolute joy talking with the two of you.
I love having you here. You're a great, wonderful person, and who do you have? Well, let's put it this way, because we have a lot of people in this chat that want guests and they have their own shows that are just as fantastic. So tell people and everybody there how they could reach out to Stan Mallow if they want to invite him onto a podcast or send him money or a gift or a New York hot dog.
No gratuities accepted. No. Good karma points. That's all. Okay. The website is paranormalyacker.com. If they go to that, they will view all the videos, all the hundreds of interviews that I've done, who's coming up next. And there's an area there with my email if they want to be, and I also welcome guests too. Like you, I like to promote other people and get the information out to as many people as I can. I know, Mark, you love to do that because you've sent a lot of people to me who you want to promote, and I'd like to do the same.
It's been a great partnership.
So it's been it's been great. So on my website, paranormalyacker.com, I have an email there if they want to be a guest on the show or recommend somebody they'd like. Let me know. You want to write me? Fine. I'm open to it.
I think that's great, and I've been to your website. It's great. I've also been to your YouTube channel where you have a whole plethora of interviews that Stan has done. Do you have anybody special coming up in the next couple of weeks, or you want your next guest?
They're all special. The way as you know, they're all special in one way. But I try to diversify from UFOs to past lives, life after death, Stonehenge, etc. I'm fascinated with UFOs, and that's good for me. But I like the whole spectrum of the paranormal.
It's a Dave word. Now you'll see me on Dave's show tomorrow night into Friday. I do the same thing. This is designed differently. I try to lift people, I want to have fun. I want things to be entertaining. And you're on next week. Michelle Brandenburg is coming on. It's the 29th, the Wednesday before Mischief Night, which is my daughter's birthday, and Halloween. And they said, "You sure you don't want her to be born on Halloween?" And I'm like, Bowden may have been a little bit too much for she would have. You're like, why would you let me be born on Halloween? Yeah. Whatever. Although she did look like Boo from Monsters Inc. a couple of different times. She doesn't look like that anymore. She's awesome, and she'll be in for her birthday from school. She's coming in and hanging out with her boyfriend, who's a cool guy too. So I don't have to have a penis collection. I'm good. But I thank you, and I definitely want you coming back. We'll work out a date and time, and we'll put you in there. I like to break it up so that when you get hit up by Jen on Paranormal Newfoundland, Boots on the Ground, and Wayne and Michelle, if you haven't been on there already, I don't want to go back to back to back to back to back.
I understand, of course, agree.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. So, but we'll definitely have you back on. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. You are part of the Third Eye Live family. Mark, send him money. But I'll tell you what we're gonna do though. I would mail it to you, Stan, but unless you have a U.S. address, it's way too expensive.
I'm well aware of that. Yes.
I have a plethora of T-shirts that I bring to conferences, and I'm sorry, Diane Boss, your stuff, you're getting it. I thought I mailed it out. My bad. And there's stuff coming to her. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to have Mark or a guest pull somebody from chat, and then we're gonna, we're gonna offer the shirt, show the design, whatever we have, and then have them. We're gonna send it to them. I have I'm gonna use it again, plethora of designs. This is something I'm working on behind me right now, but maybe just one a third eye on the front, and I have an Egyptian design and some other stuff. I have a Bigfoot like the Venton Man, with the arms out and with all Bigfoots in the back, and we'd be more than happy to send it out to our people that that follow us and watch with us, and I do appreciate it. I wish I could do more, get motorcycle jackets for everybody, right, John? John actually Straw Dog introduced me to a new motorcycle company I never heard of called Janus, and it looks like an old Harley, and I'm like, I'm in love with this thing, but way too, it's just, I got to do the right thing there. But we're gonna send out shirts to people, and we'll contact you somehow. If you're on Facebook, you'll have to hit up Mark, Eddy, or me, and provide your mailing address and the name who you want it mailed to, and we'll send you the shirt. And I'm trying to do that for guests as well. What do you think, Mark? Is that a good idea?
So,
Mark has a shirt with boobs on it. It says, "My eyes are up here, big guy."
Yeah, it's there's an energy shifter is saying, as we wrap up the show, I still have my clothes on. Well, I actually put more clothes on during the show. I did get more appropriately dressed for our guest.
Yes, I mean you are wearing a tie.
I'm honored.
Yeah, so this was a little bit more of an unusual show, even for what we do.
Yeah, well, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna give out free stuff, and Brother Ferrigno's in the house, and I'm hoping he's doing what I think he's gonna do, and then you'll see me a little bit more, and you'll probably see Stan Mallow and some other stuff. But we'll have Dave Ferrigno on as well, again. But until then, I want to thank you again, Stan. Any parting words while we...
Yes, I would absolutely love Bryan and Mark to have you as my guest sometime in the future. That's my parting words. I would like that.
Yep, it's easier. I sent you a friend request on Facebook. Just accept it. I know you're not on it as much. It's just easier to...
I should really get into it. I know I'm not. You're right.
You're just going to get banned. Don't bother. I'm always banned. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry, I'll be quiet now.
Oh, well, thank you, Stan. And kind of sounds like, we should just say good night to everyone. Thanks for being there. And we'll see everyone next week with Michelle.
Yep. So bye, everybody. Have a great week. Blessings, prayer healing, recovery, blessings sent. Bing.
You, it's always been you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I've seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you. True love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I will give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. I love you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you. I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you. I want you. My days are filled with you. I have seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you, true love is you. Love is you, true love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I will give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you.